Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Jen and today I'm gonna talk about my work. Some people know what I do for a living and some people don't. Right now I am working as a licensed veterinary technician in Sweden and I work night shifts. So I was thinking to talk a little bit about how it is to work under a night shift. I've been working a night shifts now for about 2 years. I think it's 2 years now, actually. So I have a bit of an insight, and I've worked at two different places night shift, and I'm gonna tell a little bit about the difference per place. The first place I worked at was a very, very big animal hospital that had a lot more patients. We're talking 30-ish around that, and then intensive care with patients that were really bad, and an open emergency room that we had another nurse taking care of, but sometimes you had to jump in. And then we have this place I work at now that has a closed emergency room, so there's no emergencies at night. And you're basically taking care of your in-house patients, and these could be about maybe 10, maybe 6, maybe 2. It depends really per day. And about the bad cases, I would say it's not that many bad patients you get. The extreme cases we send to a bigger hospital in the region. I think we would be a bit of an in between of your small corner clinic versus a really big hospital. And we also have a lot of people that come in to vaccinate their pets. So I was thinking I am going to talk a little bit about what we do and then a bit of the effects of what it does to you to work night shift, because it's not meant for everyone and it's really tiring. So yeah, let's start off with what I do. So mostly I come in the evening pretty late, and this is just before closing of the emergency, so I can take over the emergency nurse, and then I tend to go to my own department where I take care of the patients. So here I will receive all the information of the patients, and then my coworker goes home. This is normally how it goes. Sometimes it goes a bit different. Sometimes you're all of a sudden you have to take over for a nurse that is doing operation, and she's supposed to leave at 9 o'clock or so, and I started before. So then it's like, okay, hey, I just do a few medication and then I take over so she can go. So yeah, it's really different every day. Like, for example, today I have 10 patients, and some are a bit more intense than the others, and some are very easily just take them out for a walk, give them food, and that's it. So, yeah, that's basically the standard start. When everybody has left from the previous shift, I will be in charge of the in-house patients. I will be giving them water, food, I will walk them, I will clean them if necessary. We try to prevent this by extra walks also in the night, so we're taking them out at night because they're getting mostly fluids and they will have to pee. And this could also mean that sometimes you're a bit too late and then you don't make it and they pee in the cage, and then you have to wash them, or if they didn't lie in it or whatever reason, you don't have to wash them and you just switch the cage and you clean their cage that they had, and then they get a new one. This is kind of the standard routine that we take. This will be around midnight that we're looking at okay, we're gonna walk a little bit with them. We have our own fenced in area which is guarded and everything, so it's relatively safe. And after this, we're mostly going to give them their last medication before they are going on a rest, where they will be allowed to sleep without their infusion if they don't need this under that period for a short period. So they can rest in peace without us coming into a pump that's peeping or whatever other reason. So we're gonna have to, like, we leave them be for like 4 hours unless the patient requires extra checks or whatever. Most of the time we have a possibility to use a camera or whatever other in case we feel uncomfortable with this. I tend to put on a camera a lot. I don't tend to leave them for a long period at all. I keep an eye on them. And like a lot of people sometimes go rest for like an hour or so. I tend to not do that. I think the longest I leave them a little bit alone is maybe 30 minutes, and then I either check the camera or I walk by and like keep like as fast like look inside the room like, are you guys okay? So yeah, that's basically what I do. And then I make sure everything is cleaned. So I will also be cleaning, I will be doing laundry, and I will prepare for the next day. So in the morning, before everybody comes in, I will start up all the computers. I will take care of all the patients, so they will go out again, they will get food again, they will get their medication again. And then after all the computers are started, I will start the x-ray machine. I will make sure the oxygen is on. I will make sure the ultrasound is on, and the lights, because otherwise it's kind of dark. Nobody wants to walk into a dark workplace in the morning. So I mostly tend to turn on the lights also. And so everybody walks into the lights and not the depression of the night shift. Like, we turn off the lights when we work. When all that is done, I will hand over my patients to the morning shift and I go home. At this point, I would say we're talking 7:30 I go home. Maybe later, maybe a little bit earlier. It depends on how well it went to hand over the patients, if there's a lot to discuss or not, or if they require extra help in the morning, which doesn't happen often. Now, this is my current workplace, how it works. Now, at my previous workplace, it was a whole different story. We had a massive team handling the animals when I arrived. So I got my patients at like 9 o'clock. We walk all the dogs until latest midnight. We try to do that. So we walk all the dogs, we feed all the dogs, we feed the cats, we clean the cats. And I don't take them out anymore because I can't take them out. I am sitting on the intensive care, taking care of intensive care patients, and I can't take out animals in the middle of the night at this point. Unless it's necessary, I won't be taking them out there. Because I need to make sure that the rest of the patients are stable, and an intensive care patient requires you to be there physically. So I will be with the intensive care patients for 12 hours. About 12 hours, I would say it is. Unless there is an emergency that comes in that requires an extra person. Now, think of it like this. You have a patient that's in a bad condition and I still need to walk away. I did not have a camera, so it was really uncomfortable. Most of the time this went well, but you don't have a choice, because sometimes when they call you in, it's a life or death matter. And without that extra person, the patient can die that comes in. And this is a lot more hectic way of working. And sometimes I would say I felt like crying at like 3 in the middle of the night. It's just like so much going on, and like, and I have 5 patients are crashing, and then there's an emergency patient that needs to go to operation and needs like extra hands in operation itself. It's a lot, and that makes you kind of panic. So in that sense, the place I work at now is a lot more calm and controlled and a lot more comfortable. The other place is very challenging and you learn a lot because they have the extreme cases and we don't tend to have those. So yeah, to say what I prefer is hard to say. I think it's both has nice things, but I think it depends per person what you like. Then we're gonna talk about the effects on your body when you're working nights. Um, there's a lot of things actually. So most people when they work night, they are awake during the night, which means that they sleep during daytime and get less sunlight. Now, the lack of vitamin D can make you very depressed and tired, which you can often feel after a couple night shifts. Like if you do 3 nights in a row, you're gonna feel this one. You're gonna be tired after your third one. I think I've done maybe 5 nights in a row one time, and I was exhausted. I just couldn't do more than that. It was tough, and I could feel the effects of it. Also, things you can count in on are you're gonna get. Oh God, I always struggle with the word. It's not good. You're gonna get a lot of pain in your stomach. Your food intake is different. When are you gonna eat in the night? Your sleeping pattern is messed up. You're basically trying to sleep when it's daylight, which is really tough because as soon as you walk out, you get this smack of sun in your eyes and you're wide awake again. And then falling asleep is kind of a tough problem. And then most of the time, people sleep maybe 6 hours because they want to enjoy the day a little bit before they go to work. And I don't tend to do that. I actually sleep 8 hours when I work night shift still. So yeah, that's it. It's really different on each person. I don't have, for example, energy to go work out anymore. I haven't worked out since I started working night shift because I'm just too tired to do that. And I get really bad at eating. I eat horribly. I won't eat under a night shift normally, and I noticed that back the day after that I just don't feel good in my stomach. Like I get really upset stomach when I work nights. So yeah, those are the things you need to count in when working nights. I think I also could say I get more cold than I usually am. I'm a cold person. I'm always cold, but now I'm more cold because in the nights it's always colder. And I feel like everybody forgets to put on the heating in the night. It's so bad. It's just so freezing cold on the department, and I'm like, I don't want this. It's so cold. But yeah, it's otherwise it's pretty chill. I think it's mostly that if you work at a place that's really busy during the day and you're there during the night, it's calm. There's a lot less people in the building, and you don't get stressed as much with the amount of people in the building. Also, it's a lot more quiet, and yeah, it's good in that sense. So it goes really different ways in how you enjoy to work. I tend to like my schedule switching on and off between day and night, which is in that sense kind of nice because when I'm getting a bit tired of the amount of people and then I work night again and then it's like, oh yeah, calm down. But then after that you're kind of like, I want to meet people again. So it requires a lot. Also, one of the issues when working night, the lights go out. It does that. It's horrible. So you're sitting somewhere for longer than 10 minutes, the lights go out. So now we know that too. I didn't know that it was that fast. Now we do. So yeah, I hope you guys got a little bit informed about working night shifts and how I experience it. And to say that I hate it, no. To say that I love it, no. I think it's a bit like the perfect in between everything still, but I also prefer to work day. I don't know what to do, guys. Should I work night? Should I work day? I'm right now doing both, and I enjoy both. So it's hard to tell. So let me down in the comments below what you think is great to do, what you do yourself. Like, do you work day shift? Do you work night shift? Or do you just like have an office job, 9 to 5 kind of thing? I'm kind of curious. So have a good evening, guys, or good night. Sleep tight, and I'll see you guys in the next.